Adam, it's great to be with you. Thank you we're very excited about the conversation we're going to have. So I just want to start with a question that I think for those of us who know you in the community, who've watched you and develop your philanthropic vision, a kind of a basic question, which is, where do you get all your energy? I don't think I'm going out on a limb here to say that you're certainly one of the hardest working philanthropists in the Jewish world. So really, what is your motivation for working so hard in all that you do in philanthropy?
Thanks, Nate. Is that working? Working. So first of all, I want to thank Joseph Ayman and Seth Davis and CEJA for putting this great conference together that is going to be first of many to come. It's a great idea, and we are very happy to participate. I don't think, I agree that I got energy, not sure exactly where it comes, but I think I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And when you enjoy, the adrenaline is going and you got a lot of energy. But I don't think I really work that hard because I love what I do what I love, and I feel very, very satisfied with everything that I'm doing. So I think I'm lucky to be really introduced to philanthropy at a young age relatively, and in a form that I can actually not just donate money, but get more involved in creating program, making impact, really seeing how I'm inspiring and influencing other people and creating a legacy. And this is so beautiful that gives me a lot of energy. I do believe that I'm lucky to be in a situation where I have both the time, the money, the experience, the connection to put it together. And I do recommend for anyone to get into it at a young age because then you really enjoy what you're doing.
Great. So let's take it back and start at the beginning. Why don't you just share with the group, how did you and Gila first get involved in philanthropy?
I guess by mistake, kind of a thing.
I
didn't grow up in a house of Zionists that taught me how to be a philanthropist. I was born in Israel. I served in the army in the Yom Kippur War, went to the Technion, and came here in 1981 to obtain higher education. I went to USC and I got an MBA. I came with Gila, my wife, and two little kids. And when we finished my studies, we decided to stay for another few months just to recuperate the tuition. And unfortunately, I'm still doing it today, 35 years later.
It's expensive to USC.
Expensive, right?
Expensive place.
I didn't qualify to student deals. But in any event, I went into real estate after I finished USC because that was the area I knew from Israel. And I was fortunate to connect to another Israeli, to the Israeli-American modern Orthodox by the name of David. And David really preached to me all the time that as Jews, we should give philanthropy, we should make tzedakah. But he brought it to an higher level. He said, it's not that you're supposed to give 10% of your income to philanthropy. Whatever you give, God finds ways to give you 10 times more. That's very, I mean, from a business point of view, who wouldn't take it, but I needed to see the proof, right? I wanted to see it's for real. Everybody can sell you stories, but I was able to see that indeed, by giving to philanthropy, we became more blessed. Sometimes if we gave a certain donation, the valuation of an asset just went higher, but 10 times the donation. The proof was there that you're really blessed by being a philanthropist. So I started becoming a small philanthropist and choosing the things that I feel were important to me. But I do remember about 20 years ago talking to my partner David, and we both felt that we have arrived at a point of life that we are financially independent, critical mass. And we felt that we need to do something new, something more inspiring. You know, of course, you can continue your same business and make more money, but what's the point? What's the accomplishment? We already made it in real estate, so what is it that we can do now to feel that sense of accomplishment, sense that we're really using all our experience, knowledge, resources, and we decided to invest more time in philanthropy to see if we really can get this sense of satisfaction from doing so. And as more I went into philanthropy, the more I enjoyed everything that I did, to the extent that today, 20 years later, I'm investing about 80% of my time in philanthropy, and I'm involved in more than 100 different projects
Wow.
and organizations and activities. So again, I think I'm very fortunate, and I bless you all to be in a similar situation.
So what's more difficult, being a real estate investor, entrepreneur, or being a philanthropist, in terms of the?
I think as a businessman that is also a philanthropist, we find out that it's more difficult to give money than to make money. To make money, we know how to do it. We buy a building, it appreciates. We buy stock, it appreciates. We made money, but as a businessman, when we want to give it to philanthropy, we want to make sure that there is an impact, there is a return on investment. So that really forces us to select the right organization, right, to ensure that those organizations are effective, the best in what they're doing, and furthermore, it forces us really to get more involved and be part of the activity to ensure that really our money is working overtime and creating impact.
So you speak about impact, and I think that begins with a very clear mission. So maybe if you could share with the group, what is the mission of the Milstein Family Foundation, and how did you come to decide that that's what you really wanted to focus on?
You know, as a philanthropist, we're being approached and getting requests from all over. So very early in our philanthropic history, we have established a mission that is very clear, and it helps us really making an impact. So we have decided, Gila and I, that we're going to work to strengthen the state of Israel, to strengthen the Jewish people, to strengthen the connection between the U.S. and Israel and the American people and the Israeli people. And most of everything that we do have to do with those pillars. And it's also easy for us when somebody with mission that is completely different come to us, it's very easy for us to tell them we are focused on this mission and this is important for us and we want to stay focused.
Great. I want to dig a little bit deeper on your philosophy of philanthropy. In the books that everyone has in front of them, it talks about 3 principles that you've really developed and adhered to over the years, and those principles are active philanthropy, synergy, and life path impact. So maybe if you could unpack that for the group a little bit. What is active philanthropy?
Well, over the years, we developed 3 pillars that really guide us in everything that we're doing. The first one is active philanthropy, or philanthropreneur. It means that we take a stake in every philanthropic venture that we are engaged in. There are 2 ways to do it. One is when an organization come to us and say, we need your help, I would there inquire what type of activities this organization would like to do. And I would invest in activities that I feel are strengthening the mission. And another one is when there is a need, there is a gap that nobody else does, then at that point I will jump into the water, design it myself, plan it myself, execute it well with other execute, and make sure it is a success. So this is 2 types of active philanthropy. Obviously, the second one is more active. Let me give you some example. Raj Ratsin sits here, and 10 years ago, she approached me that she would like me to invest more in Stand With Us, which is a fabulous organization. And together with Raz, we explored what is it that she would like to do, and she came up with a student conference once a year that she would like to have here in Los Angeles called Israel in Focus. And she asked if Gila and I would like to sponsor that, and until today, we are sponsoring the student conference of Israel in Focus. APEC came to us also 10, 15 years ago and asked us to increase our donation. And again, we sat with Jonathan Kessler from APEC, and we asked him, what is it that you would like to do that you don't have the means? He came up with a program that we felt was phenomenal, but I guess other people didn't. And the program was to take non-Jewish student leaders to Israel on their own birthright. And those students become later on congressmen and senators and staff people for politicians. The impact to take those kids to Israel is unbelievable. And we have agreed to sponsor this program that is called until today, the Milstein Foundation Campus Allies Mission to Israel.
So maybe let's move on to synergy. Why don't you tell the group how you think about synergy and maybe how that influences your approach to philanthropy?
Being the fact that we are helping more than 100 different organizations, anytime organization wants us to support them, we want to make sure that that organization is collaborating and cooperating with other organizations. Because when we have all of you on the same page, we can get so much more. We can get synergy between organizations. We can help each other. We can create a force multiplier. Then 1 + 1 is suddenly equal 5. If we do it alone, we fall alone. But if we do it together, I think it's clear that we can accomplish much more. Another example, Nate, if I have time.
Yeah, sure.
Two? Okay.
Please.
Is APEC. We're taking, our foundation taking to Israel, to APEC, to the policy conference, about 300 students every year. So it's simple, it's a great thing to take students to APEC. They're inspired, they are coming back with energy, and they want to change the world. And we could have picked 300 students and brings them and come back home. But here we found a way to create a platform of cooperation between many organizations. We have asked 20 different organizations to recruit the students. Each organization has a different mission. It can be education, Jewish outreach, other things. Each organization picked 20 students. We took them to APEC year after year after year. And not only those 15, 20 organizations are now working together, the students met each other in Washington, D.C. They came together, friends, and we can accomplish together, I believe, much, much more than everyone separately.
And then briefly, life path impact, and then we'll talk a little bit about BDS to round out the discussion.
Yeah. Well, life path is just mean we don't shoot in the dark. We want to impact the life of a young pro-Israel activist from the young age of 0 until they get to 40 or 50 or more. It means we help activities that start from the young age, continue to the high school, university, young professional, young families, etc. I think the ISC, the Israeli American Council, is a great example of life path impact. Well, the ISC today is something that we have funded 10 years ago. Nati is here, is one of the funders. Is he here? Nati Seidov. This is an organization that we created from nothing, and today it's considered the fastest growing Jewish organization in the United States. And it's only because people like Nati and Sean and myself, we got involved in every step. We put our money, we put our time, we put our vision, we made it happen. And all the activities of the IAC are really taking our young community members from young age with programs like Sifriyat Pijama America, PJ in Hebrew, to high school program like Sofim and Eitanim, to university programs such as Shalanu, young professional, Dor Hadash, and leaders. And so we are basically taking them up to the point that they are becoming young families, and then they come back with their young kids. So we are impacting their life from A to Z.
Great. So the subject of today's conference is BDS. And I know probably not in this room, but in other rooms you might hear people say that, maybe BDS is overblown as a threat, or it's disappearing, or it's weakening. So how would you, and you are really one of the public voices advocating, in the fight against BDS. So when you hear that, what would you say to folks who think BDS is not so bad? So what is so bad about BDS?
Well, BDS obviously is anti-Semitism. It's existed on the world for more than 2,000 years. Just a new transformation of anti-Semitism with the goal of eradicating the state of Israel and the Jewish people that living in the land of Israel. Even if we look at the history of Israel, boycotts against Jews started more than 100 years ago. And in 1945, the Arab League announced a boycott of all Jewish businesses in Palestine. And when Israel was established in 48, they immediately called for a boycott of the state of Israel. And the boycott continues until today, and the BDS that was established here in 2005 is nothing but anti-Semitism and boycott against Jews. I think since it was established in 2005, many people didn't see that it exists, and they thought that if we don't mention it, we don't fight it, it will disappear by itself. The truth, it did not disappear, it's intensifying. Today, I think the mistake that we're making is to say that it was defeated and it's disappearing, but nothing contrary can be said. Anti-Semitism, and I hope I'm not shocking anyone here, is intensifying. It's becoming mainstream in America. Let me give you an example. We are in California. Last month, the California Democratic Convention in Sacramento, 3,000 delegates came to Sacramento, and they passed an anti-Israel resolution. Majority. They called to the U.S. government to stop funding the government of Israel that is occupying and oppressing the Palestinians here in our hometown. And BDS today is expanding beyond campuses to churches, to unions, to corporate America, to the media, to everyday life. And if we will continue this attitude that if we do nothing, it will disappear, very soon we will be in the same situation that the Jews of Britain and the Jews, our friends, are in today. They ignore anti-Semitism. They never stood up to fight anti-Semitism. And today they are considering leaving their home countries and going either to the United States or Israel.
So given that analysis, Adam, what do we do about it? What is your philosophy of how do we defeat BDS, or how do we push back against BDS?
You know, we're doing a lot of things to defeat BDS, and many organizations are here. We are communicating the truth about Israel. We're educating people. We're training people. We are writing op-ed about how bad BDS is. We're taking people to Israel. We're doing a lot of things. Clearly, it's not enough. And the question is, so what else can we do? And here, things that I do, and I call upon you to think the same, we need to think outside of the box. We need to do things that are not being done today, because what's done today is not enough. And the thing that I would like to present is we need to go on the offense. Enough to be on the defense and passive all the time. We need to take this challenge and fight against it head on. We need to, things that I would do, I would research who are the leaders of anti-Semitism in the United States, who is funding them, who is in their network, what are they planning, and are they also anti-American? And we should keep them accountable for what they're doing. We should take them from attacking us to defending themselves, and we should teach them that anyone that attacks us, there is a price, there is accountability. We need to go on the attack. This will complement everything else that we're doing today.
Great. I just want to close really with one final question, which is, what advice do you have for this group? You know, for folks who are very committed to this issue, who want to fight BDS, and who are thinking about philanthropy more broadly. You know, what lessons might you share with them?
Well, first of all, in general, how would I recommend for people to become a better philanthropist? I believe that you have to be active. You need to believe in what you're doing. You need to make an impact with what you're doing. You need to be satisfied in what you're doing in order for you to be more involved. You need to be active in every stage. It's not enough just to pick an organization and make a donation and say, I paid my dues. If we really care about philanthropy and about our mission of strengthening the state of Israel and the Jewish people, we need to be more involved. We need to be active, not just money, but with vision, connections, etc. The other thing, I believe we should not support only one organization. I hear a lot of people say, I'm an APEC guy, I'm an ADL guy, and it just meant to me that they're just like their organization as a social club. But because if we really care about those things, we should support all the organizations that can work together, multiply each other, and make much, much more than just one organization. So that's why I believe in working with many organizations. The last thing, again, in general, is don't just give money to a philanthropy 1 year and stop. I mean, our nonprofits, they're very good in what they're doing. And if instead of doing that, they need to raise money every year, then it doesn't allow them to do what they do best, which is to advocate and educate and fight for Israel. So if you pick up an organization that you like, stay with them, help them become more and more financially independent, help them become bigger, and connect them to other organizations that you support. And lastly, about BDS, the excellent organization presenting here today. If anybody wants to help me and go on the offense, we are actually affecting different methods, and we are already making huge impact in different areas of anti-Semitism, anti-BDS legislation, connection between the radical Muslim organization here and terror organization in the Middle East. We are making impact, and if anybody wants more details, be my guest.
Thank you very much, Adam.